Touch grip if you want, and back your corner.
April 29, 2021, 11:14 a.m. Singapore time. Never in the history of fight sports has an athlete hunted a man across two weight divisions to try and take two world titles from him. But that is what Reinier is trying to do tonight. Looks immediately to take down Aung and does.
Oh, that was so simple. Stepped in, got nice and tight, and immediately went in for the double leg. Now, this is really important for Aung. He's got to push off the head, get his back up against that wall, and start working his way back up. Ritter is very hard to stop once he gets that body.
Swipe your back across the cage this way.
Again, I talked about this before, like he took Aung down, had that dead hip on the ground, but Aung is able to work himself back to his feet. So until there's still a scramble here.
Aung, he's getting his back taken, Rich. You can see it. He's a little bit high, but you can see Aung is doing a good job, but that hook's preventing him from doing it. Beautiful job now by Ritter to transition into half guard.
This is an established takedown fight.
Top position for Reinier, the challenger tonight. He's already the middleweight world champion, wanting to take Aung's light heavyweight world title in half guard. Reinier cuts the hip in.
You can see Reinier was trying to attack the Kimura on that far side arm. Aung knew what was going on. Aung is very talented in jiu-jitsu. He knows what's going on. Now you can see Ritter's trying to wrap up that neck.
Yeah, he's trying to sit out on that left hip there and reaching for the neck. He's looking for an arm-in guillotine right here.
Man, these long arms of Ritter are so difficult to deal with, especially when you try to scramble. He starts looking for darces and anacondas. Now he's attacking the arm here. Aung easily takes the back, and there's that body triangle. It's like deja vu, Michael.
The same one from last time they captured in the middleweight bout. The body triangle wrapped around the midsection of Aung San. This is danger for Aung.
Yeah, I'll say this about Ritter taking Aung's back. It's not as much as him taking the back, as much as it is that he forces his opponent. He forced Aung to move in a position where Aung gave him his back there.
Aung's got to get to the other side. See how he's leaning to the knee side of Ritter? He's got to try to get to the locked side, that foot side, which is the other side, so he can relieve some of that pressure. Ritter's got a nasty squeeze inside that body triangle.
Still a long time to go, 2 minutes 45 remaining. First round set for 5. It's all one-way traffic right now to RDR.
Yeah, Ritter does a good job with that left leg, lacing it behind or underneath the knee of Aung inside the calf there. So, like Mitch said, he's got to get that foot. He's got to get the Ritter's foot on the ground, but he's got to get that leg laced out first. And you can tell with the Ritter's long legs, like this is a very difficult position to deal with for him.
Ritter said he would tap out Aung inside of 3 minutes. How's the defense looking from Aung tonight, Dragon?
Better, but he's getting, Ritter's a little bit high, and so he has to kind of reach down to attack the neck. And Aung learned something from the first time. He's defending his neck very well, but Ritter is not going after the face crank like he did last time. Ritter's got a nasty squeeze, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a vice-like, slow, pressure-style grip. Aung's got to be very careful, and Ritter might go into mount here. Yep.
And those punches from Ritter, you can hear those.
Arm triangle.
Hear those from up here.
Aung's got to clear that left arm. You can see he's trying to walk to the other side.
Turning. Ritter's turning. Is this the end for Aung San? Is this it?
Give up.
Is this it? Oh, holds on and he's out of trouble. That was close.
Wow.
That was razor close.
Oh,
wow, he's out. How about this? Here comes Aung. Looks for the hammer fist. Will he allow Ritter back to his feet so he can work the striking? Hammer fist there from Aung. Side control Aung.
Wow, Aung initiates back into the ground, jumps into the guard of Ritter. No fear coming from Aung.
Good right hand to the jaw there from Aung with 1 minute to go inside the guard of the Dutch Knight.
Right there, right elbow over the top. Nice one.
Good left hand from Aung. Should he be getting out of here? Should he be standing up?
I'm not sure why Aung didn't back up and make the Ritter stand again, unless he thought, you know what, I can take the top side position here, and I'm not sure that I can defend the takedown again.
But he was easily comfortable down there. Maybe not easily comfortable, but he was able to maintain, survive 2 submission attempts, and do his work. He's like, all right, I'm not scared of you. I learned from the first time. Rich Franklin?
We're on the same page here, but all week we've been talking about how Aung needs to keep this thing standing.
Slinging the legs, Aung Sung, a turn of tide for the Myanmar superstar. Dorita staying on his back. He does not want to get to the feet with Aung. How taste my feet. Fires another up kick. Slings the legs again to Aung. Final stages of the opening round. Most of it was for Reinier Dorita, but then Aung turned the tide as we go to the towels. Wow, how about that, Rich Franklin? Aung was almost done as Reinier Dorita was turning, but then Aung escaped and got to the top.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see here, Dorita was on the back, does a great job of working the body triangle, lacing the leg with his left leg there underneath Aung. And this is how he spent most of the round in control. He was able to earn that takedown. Obviously, the grappling superiority on the ground most of the match, but eventually Aung was able to turn the tides and get back on top, and so he did finish the round strong. It wasn't enough after 5 minutes to put him ahead on the scorecards. I wouldn't count this, the arm triangle, which we didn't get to finish seeing in the replay there, but I wouldn't count that as a near submission. Aung did a good job of defending that.
Instructions in the corner from the team at Sanford MMA for Aung Sung. Second round of our main event here on 1 on TNT4 for the light heavyweight world title, defending champion Aung Sung. Challenger and middleweight world champion Reinier Dorita. Body shot from Aung. Dorita immediately ties him up, scoots around to the back.
Man, he's so good at that. The way that he slips around to the backside like that, but Aung wise to it. Now he's got to defend. He's got to stop this single leg. Dorita has beautiful transitions. It's not just his first attempt, but it's also the second and third coming from Dorita. Aung's got to get very heavy on the hips. He's got to separate that grip.
Man, you look at the damage that Aung did to Dorita's left leg on the outside. You can't see it from this angle, but he lit that thing up when he was standing in the guard right there.
Sucked that leg in, pulled Aung down to the mat, but Aung's trying to work his way back up.
Still on my scorecard, guys, just so you know, I have not scored this as a takedown yet because he hasn't secured the takedown. Aung also has the ability to get up here until Dorita actually secures a position and begins to get offensive on the ground. It doesn't score.
Rich Franklin is not an official judge. He's just pretending to be one on TV.
Aung momentarily glancing towards Olivier Coast, saying, "You're going to break us, Olivier?" There's no action coming from RDR at the moment.
This is a great tactic by Aung. You saw it. You saw it in the last match that he had with RDR when RDR had his back, and Aung was looking at the referee like he has nothing. He has nothing. He did the same thing against Big Dash as well, working the ref. That's veteran experience is what that is.
Man, just relentless. He goes after one, goes after the other, trying to get that single leg. Again, trying to pull out the knees. But Aung doing a good job of getting his legs back and then working his way back up the wall. This
uppercut from Aung, beautifully placed on the inside, nice and tight. And another uppercut from Aung as RDR dropped down for a single to execute a takedown.
Dorita was getting ready for a match, but this was taken on short notice. So as this match hits those championship rounds, it's gonna start to wear on him. He wasn't prepared for this type of work. I wonder if in his mind, the psychological effects of having those takedown defense defended, Rich, are starting to weigh heavily on his mind.
Absolutely, and you know, Dorita here is working a lot for these takedowns. We've seen this earlier tonight. We saw it with Eddie Alvarez, this pressure against the fence. We've talked about this, Michael, and this takes a lot of energy out of you. And one of the advantages that Aung always brings to the circle is his conditioning. And so as this fight goes on to the deeper rounds, particularly the championship rounds 4 and 5, that could be the difference maker.
There were a lot of questions, however, after the loss to RDR last time for the middleweight title, that Aung had come back, of course, from a bout of COVID, and how he managed to recover. There are still so many question marks about professional athletes recovering from COVID. Inside of half guard here with 2 minutes remaining. Second round set for 5 of our light heavyweight world title main event.
Aung La goes to the body lock. He was trying to dig that underhook, but De Ridder was wise to it. So he framed out, switches his hips, postures out to that side. Now he's going to try to attack the Kimura as he steps over into mount easily.
Such a smooth transition to mount there. He did that so easily.
The elbows from the towering Dutch Knight, dropping them down. Aung La's going to give his back. No.
Nice job to wall walk, though, out of that mount. And De Ridder was forced to step over. Now he's looking to take that back again. If Aung La can press his back up against that wall, he'll be able to defend this back take.
This is one thing that he does really well. Like, Aung La's always very aware of his surroundings, knowing when to use the cage wall, when to wall walk. He's able to, I mean, technically what he's doing there is wall walking with his right shoulder up. And this is what's able to get him back to his feet. He does such a great job of this. This is where his veteran experience really pays off in the circle.
Man, look at those legs of De Ridder. He has been Aung La has only landed a few leg kicks, but already you can see the welts as De Ridder easily transitions into the back again.
Puts the figure 4, trying to lock it around the body of Aung La.
Fence, don't drop the fence.
What's he done here with his legs, Dragon?
Well, he's got one side, so he's got one hook in, and then he triangled. That's those legs of De Ridder. They're so long, and he's able to do things that most people cannot do.
Yeah, anytime that you're going to control the back, and De Ridder has a unique style here, but you always want your bottom leg to be the leg that has control, that's laced in with the hook. But then he does exactly what Mitch was talking about there, is creating a triangle, and rather than a body triangle, it's a triangle around the leg.
See how he used that to transition into side control? High-level jiu-jitsu, ladies and gentlemen, coming from Reinier De Ridder, the middleweight champion, as he's starting to soften Aung La up with the elbows as the 10-second clapper goes.
Side control here for RDR. Knee on belly from the Dutch Knight. Drops the elbows on the forehead of Aung La right at the end of the round. Well, another grueling round there for Aung La and Sung on the ground with RDR, Dragon.
Yeah, Michael, that was a dominant 10 minutes showcased by RDR, the middleweight champion, as the light heavyweight champion, Aung La and Sung, is just continuously defending these takedowns, Rich.
I got to wonder here if Aung La is playing a very smart strategic game and pacing himself. He's already been in deep water with De Ridder, mounted on him, having his back, and he's aware of his surroundings. Just, you know what, I'm not going to waste my energy. I'm going to take this into the deep waters.
I don't know about you, Rich, but I don't play those kind of jiu-jitsu games, man. I'm not trying to let somebody mount me, elbow me, take my back. That's the wrong strategy to play, especially with a submission artist like RDR.
Absolutely, but he may not have an answer for that. But rather than wasting the energy of trying to get out, let's just play smart.
His defense has leveled up, though. His submission defense, another level.
Ready?
Round 3 of 5 for the light heavyweight world title, held by the man left of screen, Aung La and Sung, against the middleweight world champion, Reinier De Ridder of the Netherlands. Rick, how do you see it after the first 10 minutes?
Yeah, after 10 minutes of action, De Ridder, in both rounds, he was able to land the takedowns, back control, and pretty much control the ground. Aung La had a minute to a minute and a half of shining at the end of the first round, but it wasn't enough to really close any kind of lead. So in my cards right now, De Ridder has a pretty significant lead, and if this trend continues, obviously he's going to go with the victory here. But this is still anyone's match, obviously, because we do not judge on a round-by-round basis.
Popping left hands there from RDR. Posting up that right arm. Aung La. Both men breathing hard here in the third. Lots of instructions coming from Henry Hoofton, the team out of Sanford MMA from Florida, in the corner of Aung La and Sung.
Also here, like we do in the gym.
RDR dragging the Burmese Python down, puts the hooks in, gets the back control. I expect the body triangle to come here pretty soon. You can see the way that RDR is trying to lace those hips. He's going to take that leg, wrap it around him. pins him into position. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, just creates a tight squeeze on Aung La and Song. Not only is he holding him there, and it's hard for Aung La to really get out of this, but it creates pressure on the stomach, and it makes it very difficult to breathe. Aung La now needs to shift his weight to the foot side. You can see how RDR is trying to keep him to the knee side, which is his right side. Aung La needs to go to his left so that pressure starts to diminish on the squeeze that he has on his body, and also starts to relieve some pressure so he can get out.
I mean, we talked about Aung La doing a better job with defense here. Obviously, this choke that he's threatening, that RDR is threatening with here, he's not in any real danger yet. Oh, that was very crafty with the heel kicks to the stomach, right?
Hurts me watching that.
But, you know, Aung La's got to be careful here. This is round 3. We talk about the championship rounds. That's where he always shines. But little by little, this match is starting to inch away from him. And it may get to the point where it's so deep that Aung La will have to earn the knockout or the submission in order to actually win this thing.
RDR thought about an armbar, couldn't lock it on.
Got the gable grip there, going for a possible arm in.
Knees to the head of a grounded opponent, of course, are perfectly legal under the global rule set.
We saw the same thing with Gilbert Galval when he went to that gable grip and started laying into those knees, but also what it gives him the chance to do is set this up. He's gonna attempt now to go for a Darce choke as well. That enables him to wrap those long arms, and that's exactly what he's doing. See how he's sitting into it? He's got one arm, it's basically an arm triangle inverted, so he's got that Darce choke. Let's see how Aung La defends this. He might transition and go for those knees with a gable grip. Back and forth tactics coming from RDR.
The knee that he planted on Gilbert Galval was phenomenal. Trying to drive the patella into the side of the head here of Aung La.
Well, it's just the way that DeRitter has his control here. He's so heavy on top that in a situation like this, like Aung La is having trouble moving. But man, look at him pulling right out of that. Amazing.
Tremendous from Aung La. Glances towards his corner. They're giving him instructions, trying to talk him through this predicament. Backed up against the fence. 120 remains, third round of 5.
Yeah, Michael, you said it right on the head. He was trying to peel that arm off, just listening to his coaches, and Henry Hooft is just walking him through the steps he needs to do to just survive these positions. Beautiful job by Aung La to work his way back up to the feet, but this is not where he wants to be. Aung La does his best work when he's at distance. We can utilize that big right hand, uppercuts, overhands, and also those leg kicks. He's got to create some separation.
What's funny here is that the non-Dutch fighter has the Dutch style of striking. Dutch kickboxing, it's all Aung La.
Yeah, 45 seconds. Let's
The
go.
man who is not called the Python squeezes
That's the back of the head.
like a snake.
30 seconds.
Resting up on that left arm, Aung La. 30 seconds remains now in this round. Another big round for Reinier DeRitter, but once again, as Rich reminds us, we are scoring this as a 25-minute overall bout and not as 5 individual 5-minute rounds.
Yeah, I've spent quite a bit of time on the mats with Aung La. He's strong. So to see somebody like DeRitter just on top of him with pressure and Aung La having trouble moving him makes me wish I could have a grappling session with DeRitter.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone. End of the round, we go to the towels once more, folks. Wherever you're watching around the world, how do you see it so far for Aung La Sung and Reinier DeRitter? Interesting, but Aung La's got to find a way to stay on his feet in the next round, Dragon.
Yeah, he's just so good, Reinier DeRitter is, at closing that distance, getting the body, and then taking this match to the ground.
Punch straight down the line. Hard stuff.
Looking very focused and calm, I've got to say. Reinier DeRitter looking a little more deflated in the corner, Aung La Sung. But there's one thing we know about Aung La, is that he will never go quietly into the night, Dragon. He'll never wave that white flag. There is no bigger heart There is no bigger determination inside than what Aung La has.
We've seen Aung La and Sang put people away, just like he did with Ken Hasagawa in that 5th round with that massive uppercut. Aung La and Sang is always in it, but he has to stop then.
And this just looks like a replay from the first match that they had with that takedown.
That one was slightly different, though. That was just a single leg. It
Yeah,
wasn't up to the switch and the body takedown.
He didn't transition to the lock. You are correct.
20 seconds in, Aung La gets taken down, put on his back. You know, at this point in time, I don't know if Reinier de Ridder has any submission attempts that Aung La hasn't seen yet. He's always got a bag of tricks, so don't hold me to that, ladies and gentlemen. Reinier de Ridder is a submission master, but Aung La and Sang needs to change this. It's good for him to be in half guard. He's got to try to get that underhook on that left side and start moving. You can see how his back is flat against the mat right there. That's not a good spot for him. The way that Reinier de Ridder has that underhook and steps over into mount, that's a bad spot for Aung La.
I think part of the reason why de Ridder's able to step through like that is because his legs are so long. Like, you know, when Aung La brings that leg up from the bottom to try to protect himself from the step over into the mount, de Ridder's leg is just so long that he ends up missing it.
Shoulders up.
De Ridder has the back of Aung La again, as he has every round. Will he slap on that triangle?
We're working on it. Go.
You can hear the heavy breathing, see the chest heaving of Aung La and Sang.
You can see how Aung La is kind of control the hands right there. He's got those hands nice and tight, so de Ridder can't pull the hand out and start attacking the neck. But just as I say that, de Ridder starts looking for the neck again. Aung La has definitely stepped up his submission defense, making it very difficult on Reinier de Ridder. But he's got to get out of this body triangle. He has got to start moving.
This body triangle will make it even harder for Aung La to breathe, to fill his lungs. And Reinier glances towards his corner now.
You talk about strategy of grappling as a fight wears on in the later rounds. Athletes, they're slippery, it's more and more difficult to lock in certain submission holds. And that's why this body triangle is really beneficial for somebody like de Ridder, because no matter how sweaty Aung La gets, you're just squeezed and trapped in that kind of thing. And so Aung La's going to have to really, really come up with some sort of real solution here, because this match really is starting to run away from him.
But Rich, we saw it in the 3rd round. When Reinier de Ridder starts transitioning, starts to create these little bit of movements, Aung La was able to spin into the circle, which he's able to do right now.
Yeah, but de Ridder's not off that back yet. And there you have it. He breaks him right back down again. And that's the thing, you know, Aung La is an explosive athlete. He shows some glimmer of hope there, but that's just a testament to de Ridder's control and level of jiu-jitsu on the ground.
Hard strike to the side of the neck there from Reinier de Ridder. Triangle wrapped around the body again from the Dutch Knight. Under 2 minutes remaining in this penultimate round.
Full position.
What are the options for Aung La here, Dragon?
Well, he's got the pressure to the right side, so you can see that he's on the foot side. That's where his body weight is leaning. But the way that Reinier de Ridder has the leg triangled makes it even more difficult for Aung La to move. See how his left leg is kind of trapped there? Now he's doing a good job of removing that, but as I say that, Reinier de Ridder transitions into full mount. Now the arm is in a bad spot. Aung La needs to clear his right arm because Reinier de Ridder's trying to drop that head down. Good job by Aung La to recover that. But then Reinier de Ridder's still on top.
What dominance from RDR on the ground today.
Fence.
He's mounted Aung La more times than a pommel horse. And you've got to wonder what can Aung La do with 1 minute remaining in the 4th of 5.
You know, I've been in these situations where you're just out-grappled for a long period of time, you know? But it doesn't usually happen for 20 minutes solid where you're just outclassed. And you really have to step things up. But Aung La carries that power into deep rounds, so he still has the capability to put RDR's lights out. But if the past 20 minutes have been any indication, I expect the 5th round to just continue with this trend.
Yeah, we talk about Aung La's conditioning and how he performs in the championship rounds, but man, I mean, when you have somebody like De Ridder on top of you, I've never had De Ridder on top of me, but I'm picturing what it feels like based on what I'm watching here, and it's just a long time to carry that weight.
But you have been out-grappled before.
When was that?
Never been out-grappled?
I've never been submitted.
10 seconds.
Not in a match.
Geez, you're a brave man tonight, Mitch. I'll tell you what, little cocky calling out Rich Franklin like that. Final seconds of the round ends in full mount for RDR. One more round to go. Aung Sung must dig deep into the well of guts and intestinal fortitude to find something.
Yeah, this is just a replay here. We're seeing just Reinier De Ridder transition from the back to full mount, dropping elbows. The submission attempts are just continually attacking here. You can see trying to put the ground and pound together. That might be the only way Reinier De Ridder can get Aung La out of there, is to sit and mount and start just dropping bombs and empty that gas tank with the ground and pound. Aung La is tough to get out of there.
I don't think I need to go through the scorecard on this, because clearly anybody watching at home can tell that De Ridder is winning this thing. But I will say that I think Aung La has gotten himself in a position now with this last 5 minutes that if he doesn't come up with some sort of finish, whether it be a knockout or submission, he may be too far behind on the scorecards.
5th and final round for the World Light Heavyweight Championship inside the Singapore Indoor Stadium. To end season 1 of One on TNT. Aung Sung, Reinier De Ridder. It's been all De Ridder so far, and he shoots in for a single early. Aung La's got to try and keep it on its feet. He stays vertical for the moment as Aung La.
I love it. Yeah, Aung La needs to start working in that underhook right there with the right arm like he just did.
And there's the takedown. Aung La on his back with De Ridder on top inside of half guard. Not where Aung La wanted to be within 30 seconds of this last round.
Yeah, Michael, it's just a master class from Reinier De Ridder, taking this match exactly where he wanted to, having very little resistance once this thing hits the ground, trying to pass the guard here. You can see how he has that left leg down there on the thigh. He's gonna try to take his right leg, pop that through, and then just sit right into full mount. Good job by Aung La to kind of relieve that pressure from the mount.
I'm wondering where Aung La goes from here if De Ridder ends up taking this belt. Now De Ridder holds the belt in the light heavyweight class. He holds the belt in the middleweight class. And the question is, if Aung La actually had a full camp to prep for De Ridder, would that be the difference maker, because this was on a 5-day notice?
You think a rematch is warranted?
Not at this point in time, but that's what I'm asking you. Where does Aung La go from here?
It has never been done in history for one man to take another man's titles in 2 weight divisions. Is Reinier De Ridder now 3 minutes and 30 seconds away from making history? He's in the full mount again.
Keep punching him there. Keep punching, be smart.
Trap is on.
This would be a massive moment if De Ridder beats Aung La tonight. Shots to the side of the head from Aung La, but he's got to find a way to get off his back.
Yes, yes, yes.
Can Aung La get there now? Can he get to his feet? Top position for Aung La.
You gotta finish
Now
him
has the pendulum swung.
Push his chin. Get your hand
Push
on
his
the
chin, they're saying, posture up, work the ground and pound.
Elbows, punches.
Nice job by Aung La Sung to explode out of the mounted position, and now he's working from the top. He's got 2 minutes and 45 seconds to really put something together, because the lead, Rich, has got to be gigantic for RDR.
Yeah, it's huge at this point in time, and I agree with Aung La's decision to stay on the ground in the guard here, particularly after I saw that initial takedown defense that he attempted at the beginning of this round. But it's going to be difficult for him to get it done. It's going to be difficult for him to close the gap with enough damage or near finish or whatever. He's going to have to submit or knock out Reinier De Ridder in order to win this match with the amount of time that's left.
There is no quit in Aung Sung. There is no surrender in the Myanmar superstar. But time is now a big enemy for him. 2 minutes remaining for Aung to try and find a finish, or history will be made by Reinier. He will become the light heavyweight world champion, in addition to holding the middleweight world championship, something that's never been done before, to win both titles from the same man.
Frame his chin with your hand and posture up. You've got to get your head up.
You hear them in the corner saying, frame his chin with your hand and posture up to work that ground and pound.
Get on your toes. Push into it. Get your head up. Yes.
There needs to be more of a sense of urgency from Aung's corner here. They have to know that this fight is slipping away from him second by second.
Drop the right elbow.
Close guard from RDR.
That posture.
Pulls the right hand out to Aung. Can't land it cleanly, however. RDR closes down the posture again of the champion. You wonder if we are seeing the final 65 seconds of the reign of gold of Aung San. Something that's become such an iconic part of one championship all around Asia. They love him everywhere we go. They turn out in force to support Aung.
Look at the Ritter's mobility there.
Hey, watch up. Stand up. Stand up.
Yeah, you can see I was trying to overhook that arm and then try to get his hips outside to attempt possibly an arm bar. He's very mobile off his back, but at this point he's got 30 seconds left. He's got a massive lead in just ground control and aggressiveness.
But that's what I like about the Ritter. He's got 30 seconds left. He's clearly dominated this entire match, and it's not good enough for him. He's saying, nope, I want this submission. I want something.
Aung's trying, he's trying to land a heavy salvo in the final seconds, but again, those long arms reach up, they pull him down, they control the posture, he closes the guard. RDR shutting down Aung San. We are going to a decision here in Singapore in our main event. We may see the title change hands. Aung pumps his fists in the air. Reinier does not pump his fists in the air. Is Aung seeing something different to what we're seeing, Mitch?
You know, you got to act like you're the champion. You have to at all point in time. You have to believe it inside your soul that you are the very best at all times.
I say this all the time when we're training, even if you have a bad round, and yes, I have been submitted, Mitch, before in practice. It does happen. But I always tell my training partners, get up like you won the fight. Look like you won the fight, and that's exactly what Aung did. He must be seeing something. If he believes he won the fight, he's got to be seeing something that we didn't see.
It was a good last 2 minutes from Aung. He was able to get out of the mount, get on top, drop a lot of ground and pound, but it was just a grappling masterclass by RDR, shooting in, getting the easy takedown on Aung. And then this is what we saw pretty much all night. It doesn't matter what round we see the highlights from, whether it's 1, 2, 5. It was Reinier de Ridder, the middleweight champ, putting on a grappling clinic, getting the takedowns, putting this match exactly where he wanted it at all times, showcasing good takedowns. But what we saw from Aung was improved submission defense and really the will and the heart of a champion, Rich.
Yeah, you saw those glimmer of hopes here and there. Aung landing a couple uppercuts. You can see the damage on the outside of the Ritter's legs. But nah, like you said, when you're flashing through these rounds here, it doesn't matter whether you're in round 1 or round 4, round 5. You're going to see the Ritter transitioning from back to mount, landing strikes, and controlling this thing front to back.
It went the full 5 rounds, and neither of these two men expected that. They both thought they would finish each other. Aung on the feet, de Ridder on the ground, but we're getting a decision. Inside the Singapore Indoor Stadium, we are ready for our decision for the light heavyweight world title. Here's Dom Lau.
This match was presented to you by JBL. And to present the belt for this match, we have the chairman and CEO of One Championship, Mr. Chatri Sitchatong. And now, ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of battle, we turn to the judges' scorecards. All three judges have called this contest in favor of your winner by unanimous decision and new one light heavyweight world champion,